Galileo, toss things over to you. You are a longtime bull of Tesla. With the stock still suffering amid this news, what is your position?
Yeah, so I mean, the stock's only down $10 on this news, and I think the market is rightfully so, kind of shrugging this off. I mean, my opinion is in 6 months, we'll forget about this. It is unfortunate that the tweet has all of this fallout, but nothing really news happened. I think the SEC is just going through the steps here. And I mean, the whole criminal case is about intent. And I don't think Elon Musk had bad intent to deceive investors. I'm not a lawyer at all, so take this with a grain of salt. But, there's no 8K filed saying he sold stock. He didn't profit from this. If anything, he was actually trying to be transparent and tell investors what he was thinking. So I think the criminal case won't actually amount to anything, and in 6 months, we'll forget about it.
Galileo, hopefully you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still there.
And do you own shares of Tesla?
Yeah, I'm still holding. I actually wish I could buy more, but I don't have any capital right now. And I was just actually at the factory in California. And I think my biggest takeaway is that this is really one of the most misunderstood companies right now, I think almost in the world, just because, I mean, if you go to California and you see the factory, the company's expanding, they're building more cars than ever. They're on track to deliver 3 times as many cars this quarter as the year before. And I mean, sure, there's a lot of growing pains, but the execution has been incredible. And I think, what's happening on the ground is Tesla's market share and their products are doing incredibly well in the marketplace. And this tweet is sort of just a distraction.
Okay, so a lot to break down here. The stock was down 7%, which is a pretty significant drop after Bloomberg did report this. And Bloomberg also saying that it could be a Pandora's box potentially for the company. To your point, I mean, we do see the stock 2% higher today, but at one point it was down 7%. Just yesterday. What else might emerge out of this SEC investigation? Does seem to scare some people at Galileo. And again, it is a hard back and forth. We can't speculate what the SEC might find if it truly is probing at Tesla right now. But it is meeting its stated goals, and it's pretty close to them. And my question to you would be, coming up here, we got another earnings report on its way soon. Do you anticipate that Tesla will meet its delivery goals after your factory floor tour recently?
Yeah, I think they're on track, and they're either going to hit their goals or be really, really close. And I mean, that's really what I'm focusing on here is they're delivering, it looks like potentially around 75,000 cars total this quarter, which would be up 3 times year over year. So I think they're going to be able to hit those goals. And like you said, that's really what matters at the end of the day. So is what has me excited as a bull in the company. Yeah, and the other thing about the investigation is that I just think, like, whenever I see news like this or read news about this, my first question is, will this materially affect Tesla's business? Like, is this changing the business in any way? And unless, like, this results in them removing Elon Musk or a fine that would be, like, billions of dollars, which I just don't see happening at all, like, this just doesn't have an impact on the business at all.
When you were at the factory, Galileo, did you see Musk? Did you get to talk to Musk?
Unfortunately not this time. I hope to next time, but no, he wasn't around. He was actually, because they have smoothed out so many delivery or production issues, like, I really think they've moved to delivery hell, or that's what Elon has said. And I actually think it's sort of a misnomer. It's not delivery hell, it's delivery growing pains. But I think he was working on that when I was there, so I didn't get a chance to see him.
Well, yeah, so delivery hell, an upgrade from just hell that they were in production hell previously, some might say. Look, we've seen analysts as well kind of raise their own evaluation of Tesla, their own rating of the company after viewing the factory floor. You're raving about the factory floor. I just have to know, what is taking place on the factory floor that is so euphoric right now that's causing everybody to really rave about the company after they visit?
Well, my biggest takeaway from the factory is that, to build electric vehicles at scale, Tesla's pumping out, 200,000 a year. You really have to commit to building out factory lines that are dedicated to electric vehicles, which is just far different than the factory lines for an internal combustion engine car. And the problem is every legacy automaker is now in this catch-22 if they don't want to invest significant capital to build out production lines for their electric vehicles because A, they can't make them for a profit, and B, demand hasn't been proven. So they're only ramping up production on, to 20,000 units a year of, let's say, the I-Pace and the Taycan. And so that's just nowhere near the volume that Tesla's doing. And so when you're on the factory floor, you really just appreciate how much expertise and advantages Tesla's built up in the 10 years while they've been building production at Fremont. And in the meantime, every other automaker seems to be dragging their feet to make a similar type commitment. And every day they drag their feet, they get further and further behind. So seeing the factory floor, there's just so many little differences of how building an electric car is so much different than a gas car that just has me convinced it'll be a lot harder for these legacy companies to catch up. And electric vehicles is really just a different business than ICE cars.
Yeah. Galileo, we only have a little bit of time left here. I think last we spoke, you had just bought more shares at $334. You mentioned that you ran out of a little bit of capital here, but as we're watching Elon Musk really take the brunt of continued hits, more investigations, do you think he needs to step aside, at least take a little bit of a break from the company?
I think he should totally take like a 1-week vacation, but he does not need to step aside from the company. He's the reason I'm invested. And I actually think Gene Munster recently came out this note saying Tesla should replace its board to put more oversight on Elon Musk. I think Gene Munster is awesome and I have a ton of respect for him, but I think he's wrong in that regard. I think the board has done a phenomenal job in sort of letting Elon be Elon and giving him as much leeway as possible, which is what investors want. Like, that's what I want. I just think the market is having a hard time understanding Elon in the context of a normal Wall Street CEO. But investors, they like that genius, eccentric visionary. And I think I'm more confident than ever in his ability to execute. And I actually think the board is doing a phenomenal job in giving him leeway through all this turmoil.
All right, Galileo Russell, I don't know if he's going to be able to squeeze in a 1-week vacation. He keeps talking about how this is the most excruciating year of his career, and he feels very tied to it. But maybe he does need a 1-week vacation. Galileo Russell, again, founder of HyperChange TV. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.